This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Right, your consultant standing by. We'll take caller 9-844-999. Ola will play Profile This coming up in minutes. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, Wendy's just released a mixtape.
Wendy's, as in the restaurant.
Yes,
the story
the
this
fast
morning.
food joint.
Yes.
And believe it or not, their 5 hip-hop tracks are shockingly well done. And it's getting great reviews on social media.
I know you're not working on it, but what's the name of the album again?
You're absolutely right. I'm not working on it, so I have no idea.
Like, we've got beef.
We're beefing.
We're beefing.
I'd call it Queen Labifa. That's what I'd have done, man.
Queen Labifa. Oh, goodness.
Well, and the picture I saw looked very close, like an old Biggie album.
Okay.
Like just the
All right. It's worth a try. Maybe we'll give it a spin on Sit and Spin sometime.
We should. I mean, hell, it's getting good reviews,
Why
man.
not?
I don't want to be that guy. Is it doing well because it's on social media, and that's what social media does? It just makes a big deal out of something that shouldn't be a big deal? Just because Wendy's social media is blowing up like crazy?
It might just be look, I don't know if it's good or if it just doesn't suck, but let's face it, if I said, I'm going to play a mixtape from Wendy's fast food, our expectations, I believe, would be exceptionally low. So maybe just the fact that it doesn't suck is good enough to be called good. I don't know. I have not heard anything.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I said, like, it's not bad, therefore it's pretty good.
Right. Red Lobster just started selling lobster and waffles. The lobster is deep fried. The waffles are made with Cheddar Bay biscuit mix. You cover it all in syrup, and it'll run you about $20.
I don't want
that's
the syrup.
The huge thing. Is that waffle, dude. It's the Cheddar Bay biscuit.
So
but you don't want syrup on your lobster, do you?
But that's what I said. So they're saying that the lobster's deep fried. Does that mean it's breaded? Do you assume?
Probably.
Because it
you're
puts
gonna
syrup
syrup
on
it up,
something.
yeah.
That's probably the only way, I guess.
But do lobster and syrup work, man?
It just looked like it was fried. Because I've had fried lobster before.
Yeah.
It's usually not breaded.
Okay. I don't know, man.
I mean, look.
The waffle sounds tremendous, without a doubt.
But I'm sure when Roscoe's started chicken and waffles, people probably went, well, I guess people do put syrup on chicken.
Hey, man, Roscoe basically took what folks have been doing and gave them a restaurant. What, nothing new?
I would definitely try lobster and waffles.
I would try it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sold on the syrup, but I would try that in a heartbeat, for sure.
Sliced ketchup is now a thing that exists.
Why is your ketchup sliceable?
Someone selling it, right? That's exactly what I thought.
That's the question you ask.
Someone's selling it on Kickstarter, and 8 slices will cost you $10.
It's like getting, like American cheese.
That's still gross.
And it's just like a little slice of ketchup you put on.
I mean, are people struggling with the plastic squeezable bottle? Am I missing something?
I guess you don't want any of that little wet stuff in the beginning.
Just shake the thing.
Well, you shake the bottle.
You still get that wet stuff, dude.
You don't,
No,
man.
you don't.
Shake your bottle. It's the crispy thing that I don't like.
Not if you do it right.
You're squeezing it out, and that crispy bit breaks off the little blowhole, and you're like, Even though it's just ketchup, but still, you're like, I don't want that, dude.
Craigslist just killed its personal section, which includes missed connections and casual encounters.
How am I ever going to hook up?
It's all because of a bill that steamrolled through Congress that would go after any website that used for sex trafficking.
Steam-roomed, Mike. It's steam-room. Man for man. Come on.
Oh, Lord.
My favorite from those years ago, Miles would read these things, and it was something to the effect of, hey, man, met you at the park last night. You were wearing this, I was wearing this, and basically we had oral sex in the bushes. I never caught your name. That's damn.
You were in the gym with your leg up on the sink, blow drying your testicles. Couldn't help but stare.
Could have sworn it was in the porta potty.
Well, that was your experience.
Oh, true enough.
We all have different experiences, Mike.
She never got back to me, doggone it. A woman got bumped off a United flight from D.C. to Austin, Texas, and clearly the gate agents wanted to avoid another public relations disaster, so they gave her $10,000 of a voucher.
Man, I saw that, and now I'm so tempted to try it. I got bumped off my flight. I want $10,000 to fly anywhere.
No seats open in the front, huh?
Where's my voucher?
So you still got to explain to me how that's legal.
What's that?
You paid for a seat, they oversold it, and then go, you can't go.
Right.
It's like, dang.
It is, right, man. I mean, and almost any other business, if you've paid for something and then they don't provide the product or refund your money, like, That would be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at
Not the airline industry.
at
Hell
a
no.
restaurant, right? Like you might have a reservation that you got to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
But if we just didn't serve you food, even though you made a reservation, like you'd be pissed.
Sure.
You put down a big old
And the
deposit
thing,
for
right,
that thing.
you already took my money is the
Right.
problem.
A 24-year-old man in South Carolina wouldn't make it to shore after his boat capsized in a river last Wednesday, but a random dog heard him yelling for help, jumped in the water, towed him back in, and probably saved his life.
That's impressive.
Right?
Yeah, it really is.
I
It's
wonder
so
what kind of dog it was.
Well, Mike,
We're not working
maybe
on it.
you should listen. You
It's your
should wait for
story.
TV time.
Oh.
And I'll let you know what kind of dog it is.
Ted's working on it.
Coming
I'm
up
working on
next.
it.
Thank God.
And I thought I was the king of the teas.
Yes, Mike.
The king of the teas.
I think most people, after they meet you, go, hey, man, that is the tease king.
Do you know who that was? Do you know who that was?
That was the tease
That was the king of the
right.
teas.
Tease king Whitey.
Get out of here.
Teas king. What?
Get out of here.
Tease King Whitey. Hold a pen.
All hell. Dilly dilly.
A mom in Georgia was arrested after she intentionally crashed into a telephone pole with her kids in the car. Oh, Lordy.
What the hell?
To prove to them that God was real.
How
I don't know.
all they learned is that the law of physics is real,
Yeah.
that telephone poles are as solid as everyone warned, and that your mother is an effing idiot.
Damn it.
I mean,
Moving
sorry,
on.
man. Like, goddamn, most people take their kids to church. She drives us to a telephone pole.
Yeah.
Even God's like, don't be stupid.
Witness her.
Damn it, man.
A
Leave
fifth-
me out of your mouth.
A 58-year-old man who's an heir to Anheuser-Busch is facing assault charges for attacking a sixth grader at his son's basketball practice. I think I did read another headline of that it was a bully.
Yeah, I'd heard that it's a I mean,
Still, you punched a kid.
you can say something, man. You can't
Yeah,
just
man.
go. Especially with, what's the irony of, hey, man, my 12-year-old's getting picked on by another 12-year-old, so me, a grown-ass man, went and punched a kid in the
right.
face.
Can't you intimidate a 12-year-old without punching him?
Find it rather easy.
Maybe that 12-year-old was bigger than his 12-year-old Ted, and he wanted to show him what it's like when somebody bigger than you picks on you.
Teach your kid to punch him in the bees. Or kick him in the nuts. Sorry, I'll leave you alone.
He'll walk away. The FBI is looking for a man who has dork tattooed on his throat.
That should be hard to find.
Yeah.
Right?
With so many dork-throated men running around.
Now they took away the Craigslist system. Now you can't find them.
You had dork on your neck.
You want to be dork-throated?
Dork-throated.
Man for man.
A girl in Georgia wanted her dad to take her to prom, but the school wouldn't let him come.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm not working on it.
Because it's
Probably
weird.
because it's her dad.
Okay.
In Georgia.
All right.
Yeah, and like generally they have rules about age limits.
I mean, even the school's like, hey, man, you know, deep south and all, but that's weird, bro.
Come on, man.
Come on, dude. Making us look
You're
bad.
not making it any better.
dang.
A scientist whose life work is to save endangered rhino species says that 15 years of collecting rhino semen is finally paying off.
I saw the headline, and all I could think is, that had to be a tough sell for 15 years. Like, what do you do? Well, I collect rhinoceros
I'm out
semen.
there. I gotta
I'm sorry, you do what? Listen to me. It'll be worth it one day. He's so vindicated today. All of you
At the
that
beginning.
had nicknames for me.
But it's
the
only-
Rhino Gyno. All that stuff. Guess what? It's paid off, bitches. I was milking a goddamn rhino cobra for the last 15 years.
Saturday Night Live has named their worst guest host ever, and it's just who you'd expect it to be.
Who's that?
I'll tell you all about it 1 hour from now.
Thank you, Mike Hawk, King of the Tees. Headlines coming up 1 hour from now. But first, the game is on.
The Men's Room presents Profile
And
This.
Steve Throw, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, David. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola!
Hola! Hi, David. Do you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
Fantastic. Here's your story. Mike Hawk brought this story up last week, I believe it was, but it's the story of a 30-year-old guy. He's from the Bronx, and last week he got $96,000 from a lawsuit that he filed after a car accident. So how did he celebrate? By putting all of the cash into a suitcase, checking into a cheap motel, and hiring 3 hookers. Because who wouldn't do that? Well, after they had sex, the women pitched the idea that a few friends of theirs could come by with beer and cigarettes. He was down, so they called their friends. Those friends turned out to be two dudes who busted into the room with guns and stole the suitcase full of cash. So now the cops are trying to track down the hookers and their friends. As for the guy, this is going to surprise you, says he's pretty upset after he lost all the cash. His quote, "I'm haunted by this. I needed that money badly." The guy who got a $96,000 settlement and blew it on hookers needs money. Anyway, do you believe that this genius is black, white, Mexi, or Jew?
I'm kind of leaning light on this one, but I'll go to the resident racist, so to speak.
It's in the Bronx.
It's
in the Bronx.
That's you,
right?
Ted. Yeah, the Bronx, New York.
So it's got the possibility of being just about anybody.
Anything, right? The dude wins $96,000. That's his take.
It's a settlement.
So he's already given whatever
he hires
lawyers.
3 hookers. He goes to a
cheap motel.
Was it
cheap
2
motel.
hookers or 3 hookers?
I believe it was 3 hookers. Hang on, so 3 hookers. It was 2 dudes that came over later.
So the guys roll him in the morning because they now know, because of one of the hookers, that he has $96,000 in a briefcase that he has on him. They go knock on the door. He opens the door. They rob his ass and take off.
That is correct.
Okay.
There's not a ton in there, though.
And what I like is he has to go to the cops like, hey, while I was breaking the law soliciting prostitutes and paying them for it, they broke the law more.
Yeah, do they help or not?
I think, listen, if I'm a cop and I don't know, but my general mindset would be like, we could pop you for solicitation. We won't, but you've learned. So I'm going to tell you we're going to help, but I'm not going to lift a finger.
You know what, man? I think that this money is cash.
It's cash.
It's not going in a bank. You just got a settlement and your money is not going into the bank. Why is your money not going into the bank? In any form. Even if you just put like some of it in the bank. Why do you have $96,000 in cash?
You know what?
In a suitcase.
This is the guy that got a settlement, got 3 hookers in a cheap motel, as opposed to an expensive motel.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the fact he kept it all in cash seems like he wants to be flashy about it. Mm-hmm. That's got me leaning a little more black.
Okay, what do you think?
I think I'm going to stick white on this one.
Final answer.
Final answer, white.
Okay, final answer is white. We'll find out if he was black, white, Mexican, or Jewish next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Profile this takes us to the Bronx and a guy who won a $96,000 court fee. That's
not bad.
Pretty impressive settlement there. Took all the money in cash in a suitcase and then went to a cheap hotel and got himself 3 hookers. Spent the night with 3 hookers. They apparently called somebody who decided to come over in the morning and take that briefcase of $96,000 from the man staying at the hotel. I don't believe they found them either.
No, and again, they're not going to look that hard because the guy had to commit a crime to call the cops to let him know that he's an idiot. That's what the cops are hearing is, so you called us to let you know that you're stupid. That is essentially. So, David, we asked you, did you believe this guy was black, white, Mexi, or Jew? And you went white. Mexi. You were getting warm when you said, look, you got it in cash, put it in a suitcase, it's not going to the bank. I think in that case, as far as stereotypes go, take white and Jew out of the equation, and you're down to 2, right?
Yeah.
I just like the all cash. Seemed like you had to stunt. You know, like if you live in New York City, you have to take a picture of your car in the middle of the street.
Take a picture of your money. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah. Like they just do stuff different in the Bronx.
Now for all the TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on in the news and TV in general these days, right? So I think we all agree, for the most part, some people don't like them. Some people are cat people. But most people, I feel like dogs.
Yeah, overall, sure.
So if you said, hey, my dog saved me from a fight or whatever like this, like that kind of makes sense.
I would also think you're talking about your human friend, but point taken.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, like, right, the dog.
Right, you call, hey, what's up? This is my dog.
Yeah.
Right?
So this guy in South Carolina has a crazy story. A boat tipped over, and the dog swims out and saves his life.
Next thing I know, the dog's in the water coming at me, and he gets right up to me, pretty much right in my face, and kind of barks a little bit, spun around, threw his tail at me. I was able to grab his tail. He started pulling me towards the shore, and my hand slipped, and the dog felt it, stopped, backpedaled. I was able to get my arm around his collar, and he took me all the way to the dock. It was a miracle. I was going to buy the dog the biggest steak I could ever find on Friday.
the vegetarian dog, first of all. And second of all, the dog's name, David Hasselhoff.
Still amazing to me that a dog could actually go save somebody from
And
drowning.
knew what was going on.
I will say it was a lab, Mike, you were asking.
Right.
That makes sense.
That's actually what I pictured. Right?
Yeah, if you want to see the story or more of that guy's interview, it's on the Men's Group Facebook page. It's pretty amazing.
And this guy looks exactly like a tennis ball, by the way. Just to throw that out there.
It's a yellow fuzzy man.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's
See, I'd be safe. I'm black. I'd look like a stick. There he comes.
Yeah, but he might just bite you.
That's right.
That's true.
Shake-
That's all right.
shake
Get
you
around
around
the
a little
shore.
bit.
Yeah.
All right. Obviously, big news recently. Look, I'm just going to tell you, folks, it feels weird even coming out of my mouth that I'm talking about a porn star, Stormy Daniels, on 60 Minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
tonight.
right? Like, I know it involves the president. It was
On
just
60
like,
minutes.
yeah, it was just like 60 Minutes as a porn star on.
Husbands are going to pretend that they don't know who this is, even though.
Long duck dong.
Yeah, right? Like, I was just like, all right, it's crazy, but Stormy Daniels, you know about her. She's been talking about having an affair with President Trump. Well, she did an interview. They weren't sure where they were going to show it. They finally aired it, and here's part of it.
You were 27, he was 60. Were you physically attracted to him?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Did you want to have sex with him?
No. But I didn't say no. I'm not a victim. I'm not.
It was entirely consensual?
Oh, yes.
You work in an industry where condom use is an issue. Did he use a condom?
No.
Did you ask him to?
No. I honestly didn't say anything.
After you had sex, what happened?
He said that it was great. He had a great evening, and it was nothing like he expected, that I really surprised him, that a lot of people must underestimate me, that he hoped that I would be willing to see him again and that we would discuss the things that we had talked about earlier in the evening.
Being on The Apprentice.
Right.
Shout out to Anderson Cooper. That was the slyest way I've ever heard somebody ask if you used a condom.
Right.
I was like,
I know it's a thing in your industry.
Right, because you see some of the highlights from this interview, and you're like, how did it get to that? Mm-hmm. And then when you hear him asking, you go, all right.
She was 26.
27
in 2006.
Yeah, so what is she, 30?
She's 39.
So what is she now? She's
37? Oh.
No, it's because it's 2 years older. So
She's
she's almost
27.
she's 40 years old right
Almost,
now?
yeah.
Okay, all right. When I looked at her, I thought she was like 50-some.
I did too. Honestly.
I had no idea.
I'm like, well, she
and
aged
this is
well.
no disrespect. I just kind of assumed that she was closer to his age, and I'm not. She's not unattractive. I'm just kind of shocked to find out what her age is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I had no idea.
Well, business is
I had no
booming
idea.
for Stormy.
Yeah, I'm sure she's doing great. Good for her.
Yeah, I think I read another thing that said we'll just say a certain adult video site that her videos have had a strong uptake.
They have,
Sure
man.
they have.
Of course.
Right?
I mean, damn.
Some interesting things from this. She admits that she's breaking the non-disclosure agreement, but also says like it's invalid. She says once that she was threatened in a parking lot in Las Vegas.
Yeah, with her kid in the car and all the rest of this.
Right, and the guy said something like, stop talking about Trump, let the story go, and then leaned in and looked at the baby and said, that's a beautiful little girl. It's a shame that it's happening. Be a shame if something happened to her mom. Stormy Daniels seems pretty upfront about everything, but that does kind of sound stereotypical of what you expect like a muscle to say.
All that said, look, she took a lie detector test and she passed it. So if you put any credence in that, then do the same on the other side and problem solved.
Yeah, I think the only kind
And
of...
I don't sign a non-disclosure agreement because somebody lied about me. I would not ask someone to sign that. I'd be like, I'm going to see your ass in court because you're a liar, so if proof is proof, I have nothing to worry about. That's my stance on things.
Yeah.
If I haven't done anything, I don't care what you're going to accuse me. I care, but the point is, as we go through the process, I come out of this clean, and I'm going to get your ass for that, right? I have nothing to
NDAs
hide.
in general, to me, are always kind of right. It reeks of somebody doing something bad.
Yes!
Right?
Yes. Why else would you? There's no other reason to sign it.
I don't think he did anything bad. I think he was just being who he is at the time. It was 2006.
It was 2006. He wasn't
exactly.
president.
He's on The Apprentice. He never has not been himself. He's never not been this guy. He's always been known as a playboy. He's on his third wife. Every single wife that he was with, he cheated on. I'm pretty sure that this is a deal. This is not. Whoever he is, president or not, you can't expect Donald Trump to not be still Donald Trump just because he was he wasn't the president then. As you said, right. Bill Clinton was getting it in the White House, like, This is 2006 Donald Trump. This is exactly what he said on tape to Billy Bush.
Right.
Why is anyone surprised by this? Like, this should not be.
He said it himself.
I didn't watch it because no S. I mean, of course he did. He's Donald Trump.
With Clinton,
God. He's doing
at
his son's
the White
doing it.
House.
It's a big difference.
But like he's in the office.
Big difference.
Not like at the office. He's literally in the Oval Office getting service.
Yes.
While being president. This is something that happened 10 years ago.
He said it. This is who I am. This is what I do. I'm famous. When you're famous, do you know what you can do?
Billy Bush. Grab him by your last
Billy
name.
Bush, you still didn't have a goddamn job.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still a story.
It is
right?
a
If
story.
you got a
It's a story.
giant porn
It's a
star
story.
talking about
I
a
know.
very explicit thing.
It's a
with the
story.
president, whoever the president is. That's
Right.
going to be a story.
I think it's a story, but I don't find any controversy in it.
I don't
'cause it's
either.
like, the guy's always been a
No
cheater.
kidding.
The other great thing
and he
is,
wasn't president.
I'm sure his
her
wife
name,
knows.
To me, the best part is just her name is Stormy.
Right. It's something
right.
Trump, Stormy.
I'm in a stormy relationship.
Yeah, it's just a fun name to say.
Yeah.
Like, did you hear what happened to the president? No, that Stormy thing came back to bite him.
Doesn't that sound like a drink?
Stormy.
The Stormy Daniels.
There is one, a dark and stormy.
There you go. But
That
see,
is a
she's
drink.
not dark and stormy. Now, if it were a black
No.
chick, how great would that be? Because, every headline would be like, dark and stormy times.
Don't think that there's not a dark and stormy movie out there in production right now.
I would like
Dark
to be
and
in
stormy.
it.
It's pretty simple. Rum and some ginger beer. You guys know Alfonso Ribeiro?
Of course.
Sometimes called dark and stormy.
Yeah. Here's another one, right? Like you're saying, like no S. Like 2006 Trump was doing Trump stuff. This is kind of the same thing. He did one of those 25 things you don't know about me for Us magazine. And this will shock you. People still ask him to do the Carlton dance.
Yeah.
From Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He said, if I had $1 for every person that asked me to do the Carlton, I'd be rich beyond comprehensive. Damn it.
That's the only thing they're going to ask
Comprehension.
him. It's the only thing they're going to ask him to do. They don't know him for it. Although, it's a true story. Quick
Well,
aside.
isn't he the host of
Yes, America's Funniest Home
Funniest
Videos. All right. So on Sundays, the one time you're trying to get the kids to start chilling out, 7 o'clock, America's Funniest Home Videos. Of course, they call it AFV because they're cool like that. And but they always want to watch it. Okay, always. And I'm
Because
like,
it's a great show.
it's a great show, and you can watch it with your kids. And like he's going to be hitting the nuts with the wiffle ball bat, and it's funny every time. I'm like, oh, great. So it comes on Sunday night. They're doing other things, right? Because they're playing, doing their thing. No big deal. I'm not really watching it, but it's on. I'm kind of doing other things. 9 o'clock rolls around. It's time for the kids to go to bed. This is just this past weekend. Hey, guys, let's get ready for bed. We're like, all right, cool. So my daughter looks up and says, well, was AFV on? I'm like, it was on 2 hours ago, man. You missed it. You and your brother were horsing around doing whatever. She broke down in tears, Dad. I mean, she is boo. So I'm just sitting there looking at her like, are you goddamn kidding me? I look at my son who looks at me, and my son does this big shrug like, you deal with this, bro. I don't know. So I'm like, hey, baby, look, you're tired. Just go to bed. I'm telling you, man, it was like a 20-minute ordeal because she did not see America's Funniest Home Videos. And I know she was just tired, but I'm like, oh, God, come on, man.
You didn't have any in the DVR?
Dude, and I tried to explain this because they use the remote more than me. I said, but if you go on demand, right? But I wanted to see it live. I'm like, it's not even live when you see it. Right. When kids are tired, they're just determined to stick in that place. And I'm like, goddamn, Alfonso Ribeiro. You are my poison right now, man. You are my poison. They're so happy when they see him with his stupid dances and all the corny stuff he says. He was killing me, man. He was killing me. I was actually mad at Alfonso Ribeiro in that moment.
Which a lot of people don't say.
I've never said that in my life. I would hope to never say it again.
If you watch any of the basketball that's been going on in the tournament, obviously Loyola Chicago is a massive story. They haven't been this far in the tournament since the 60s or something. So they have the 92-year-old nun that's been helping them out, Sister Jean. She gives a little pregame prayer. She has specific shoes she rocks, and then she also gives them some postgame notes. So Charles Barkley has been talking about if they made it to the Final Four. He wanted to hang out with her, and here's Sister Jean on whether she'd hang out with Charles Barkley.
So Charles Barkley would love to hang out with you. Can I make that a date between you two?
We'll have limitations. I like him when he talks as a sports announcer very much, but I don't want to see him playing the basketball court.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't.
Either does Chuck.
Yeah, I'm like, does she think he's going to invite her? I think he just wants to chat. I don't think he's going to be like, Sister Jean, watch me dunk this. She did have probably the greatest Catholic joke I've heard in a long time, though. Because she's a nun, right? So right now, you go through the season of Lent, right? So most Catholics, you give up something because Jesus was in the desert for 40 days, all this stuff. So they asked her what she gave up for Lent. She said, losing.
Oh, wow. Look out.
Right?
Zap.
Right? That's what it's like.
Zap.
You know what?
She's right.
Also, I don't know about you guys growing up Catholic. My mother is obsessed with Sister Jean. And it's like, have you seen her today? Did you hear this? And then my mom loves nuns too, right? So she's been really mad the last decade with the Catholic Church.
She loves nuns?
Nuns specifically.
Huh.
But she's mad at the church. They have not done, they really haven't treated the nuns, honestly, that great over the years. Right? So
they get none respect.
But she's always like, nuns this, nuns that. So now, I was talking to her the other day and I said, okay, you've been talking about these nuns for 37 years of my life. I go, you're right on this one. I think she's helping the team.
Okay.
It's finally proved her right that nuns are the greatest thing on the planet.
It only took 37 years.
It only took 37 years and a miraculous run from Loyola of Chicago. But now she has proven her point to me, which I highly respect there, Mom. You know what? You have this time of year, people have some bets. You make some bad bets. Fallon had a list of dumb bets.
Now I thought I'd share some of my dumb bet stories from you guys. This first one is from Gummerson.
Oh.
He says, one time on vacation, I bet my dad I can catch more lizards than him. For the whole week, I was woken up by him putting lizards in my face and yelling, scoreboard! Grow up, dude. Yeah. This next one's from @Miss Greenwald. She says, when I was a kid, I bet my sister my bed because it was the biggest thing I owned. When I lost, my mom said I had to give it to her, so I'd learn the consequences of gambling. So my sister was 9 and had 2 beds. Hey. Living the life, man.
2 beds.
This one's from @Craig Lefferts. He said, I got cocky one day and bet $1,000 in my kid's Little League game. He was really confused why Daddy was crying when the game was over. It's like, I just thought the Tigers had a chance, that's all. Let's go get ice cream. When you lost. This last one's from Rockefeller 88. He says, my friend bet me I wouldn't eat semi-chewed gum off a gas pump. Unfortunately, I won. There you go, everybody. Those are my Tonight Show hashtags.
I recently made a terrible bet about something that I thought could only be done twice a year. May or may not have bet my buddy $100 on it. I'm going to answer for that soon.
You're going to have to pay him up?
Well, yeah, because I'm pretty sure I was wrong about the bet.
Something that can only be done twice a year.
So in theory, have you ever balanced an egg?
Have I ever bounced an egg?
Balanced one.
You talking about Marshawn?
Yeah.
That son of a bitch.
What do you mean?
So
tell me more.
Vertically. Take an egg out of the carton, put it on its ass, let go of it, and try to stand it up. Just know that last week, this was never a thing on my brain. I'm glad he sucked you in too, because I'm walking up the hall. One of our coworkers, VD, says, look what Marshawn just did. So I look in there, and sure enough, there's a carton of eggs, which I can't explain, but on the console.
He bought them to prove the point.
That's why he got them. So it's standing up vertically, right? And in my mind, I'm like, well, it can't be that hard. It's much tougher than you would think. And so I yelled at Marshawn and said, dude, you're irritating because now I care about this. Like, it never crossed my mind, but now I'm determined to do it. So you're saying what? He can't do it again?
No. Here's the thing. He's like, you can only do it on 2 days on one of the equinox. Right? So supposedly it can't be done outside of there.
All right.
So my friend was like, oh, I'm pretty sure it can. And I was like, you know what? I'm confident on this one. I know he wouldn't lead me down the path. So I was like, I'm so confident that, and we're having this conversation on one of the 2 days you're supposed to be able to do it. So anyhow, I said, I'll bet you $100, right?
That it can only be done on the equinox.
Right. So in the last 3 or 4 days, people keep tweeting me them just balancing eggs.
Right.
It doesn't matter at all. Right?
Oh, man.
$100?
I was very confident about this.
Obviously, man. That's ridiculous, though.
Well, when you have another grown man that says, I learned this from my dad when I was 12, if it's not, he used to quote, if it's not true, like something in my childhood was a lie. So I was like, all right, it's got to be true.
I think he played you, man. I think Marshawn wanted to send you out into the world armed with that quote-unquote knowledge.
I saw the look in his eye. He seemed just as disappointed as I was. And I told him he owes me 50. CNBC is reviving Deal or No Deal with the original host,
Howie Mandel.
Yes.
Oh, okay. God, that's right.
I'm impressed you remembered that, Miles.
That was his comeback to TV.
Deal or No Deal?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it was his first.
I think it was. I mean, as far as TV goes, like
he had
been
a
a
80s
comedian
show or something maybe for a minute, but
he disappeared for a while.
Then he came back bald-headed and like.
Was it Bobby's World? Wasn't that Howie Mandel?
I think so. Yeah.
But did he have hair, Bobby's World?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a cartoon.
Yes. All right. Well, listen. The bald head was don't call it a comeback, but it was, and that's because he had hair and then he disappeared, and they said, yeah, Deal or No Deal with Howie Mandel, and I'm like, that bald guy looks a lot like Howie Mandel.
Yeah, the original show was on NBC from 2005 to 2009. Then there was a couple of years of syndications. Basically, CNBC is saying there'd be a perfect fit because it's focused on business and money.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not?
Right, you know.
Thank you, Ted. There you go. TV Time with Ted. All right, we got your headlines on the way with Mike Hawk. Coming up in minutes, you are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Wife calls husband a loser, so husband grabs a hammer, and he'll now spend 10 years in jail. We head to Minnesota for a 17-year-old taking a driving test and a first-time epic fail. 3 Americans in Italy make all of America look dumber than hell. A man attacks the Golden Arches, and now he can only eat at Taco Bell. And SNL alumni named their all-time most hated host. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story. Saturday Night Live has named their worst guest host ever. And it's just who you think it would be. In an interview, SNL alums Bill Hader and Jay Farrell were asked who the worst-behaved musical guest or host was during their time on the show, and both of them quickly agreed that Canadian musical sensation Justin Bieber took home the gold.
Yeah, no surprise there.
He did for that time frame, but they've been on for a long time, so he can't be the all-time most hated.
Yeah, true enough. What are they, 40 seasons?
Chevy Chase is well known to be...
No. I mean, it's just all time to them and their time.
Sure.
But I will say, Hader was pretty nice about it, too. He was just like, I don't know. It was a few years ago. He was going through some stuff.
Yeah, he did say he was having a bad time.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to burn the bridge, I guess.
I just don't...
being a kid, man. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
That's all.
Around the world, we go to Italy, where a trio of American exchange students made quite the mess while trying to make a staple Italian food.
This is ridiculous.
The 3 were attempting to cook up a nice pot of spaghetti, but managed to cause a fire that forced them to call the fire department to put it out. All because they forgot one crucial ingredient in making pasta. They didn't add water.
God damn it.
As you can imagine, comments
I quit
started
the
to
human race. Like that. That's it.
Right? As you can imagine, comments started to flood into the local newspaper that published the story. That just didn't paint America in a very good light.
Yeah, because we needed more help.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is when we needed more help on looking like that. But then again, Italy just kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you boil it.
How stoned were they, do you think?
No, this is complete sobriety. This is sober
You
stupidness.
think this is just complete stupidity?
This is someone who has never cooked before. And while in Rome, let's try what we never cooked before.
Why would you try
I think
to cook
they
it in there,
answered
though?
a lot of people's questions.
Man, I ask people, I live in downtown Seattle, man. I don't have a coffee pot.
Right.
There's plenty of places to get a coffee. I'm going to assume if you're in Italy, you should probably go out for the pasta.
Right, but you don't go to Seattle and then make a pot of coffee.
That's what I'm
saying. You go
saying.
somewhere to find someone to make it.
Right. That's
Why
what
would
I'm
you go to
saying.
Italy
That's
and
exactly
make your
what I'm
own
saying.
pasta?
I
Because
agree.
it's easy to do.
In theory.
Because you just boil
right.
water and put pasta in it,
right.
man.
Yeah, I mean, you might overdo it.
Your mom never
Right.
made you pasta? You didn't watch how she did it? Like, made water first?
Yeah,
Made
she said,
water.
boiled water. Yeah, she made her own water.
Right.
She did.
Damn. The tears of your stupidity. That's where she made the water from. In Oregon, a man walked into a McDonald's and put in an order for 30 double cheeseburgers. We talked about this earlier today. The report doesn't indicate why, but the restaurant rejected the man's order, which set him off completely. The man flew into a rage and began to destroy the famed Golden Arches outside of the building. Police were called and he was arrested on a handful of charges.
Yeah, you got to respect the arches.
Yeah.
You really do. It's institutional.
Leave the arches alone.
Yeah, come on. I mean, you can punch Ronald in the face, right? Didn't they steal his feet or something like
And
that?
you know
I think
what?
they
Statue.
decapitated
You
him.
can't name somebody Jedediah and expect him to be normal.
Yeah, it's not
I'm
going to
sorry,
work out.
parents. Like, you screwed him from the very beginning. The guy's name is Jedediah.
I wonder if they were like, do you have friends? Why do you need 30?
You know, you just know something about the way he
Jedediah,
smelled, the way he looked. It's like, yeah, come on, man.
Can you smile for me, sir? Show me your teeth.
No, we said all of. Oh, that is all of them. Okay,
Right.
our bad.
In Buffalo, Minnesota, a 17-year-old was so excited about taking her driving test to get her license that she lost focus at the wrong time. As the test was starting, the young girl put the car into drive instead of reverse to back out of the parking spot and ended up ramming the SUV into the licensing building that was putting the test on. No charges are being filed, but the test giver was taken to the hospital with non-critical injuries.
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me. That's the time when you do that kind of stuff. That and at the other end.
But you feel like it shouldn't be right as you're taking the
You're
test.
90, you drive into a Dollar Tree store, but you're probably going to die within a week. It's like the same thing. It's like the beginning and the end of it.
See, and I'm on the other side of that coin. I've watched all the sitcoms that do it. You know, the comedy where the guy gets into the car and he's obviously way too busy to pay attention. He puts the car into reverse instead of drive and then just rams it half a mile away into somebody else's car. I thought, how could anybody actually do that? I've put it in the wrong gear before, but it gets about a half a rotation before I stop because I realize I'm going the wrong direction. How do you floor it going in the wrong direction?
That's always the thing. Where it's like, look, we've all probably done the screw it, but like you don't just put pedal to metal
right
as soon as you put the car in drive, man. Like tap the brake.
That makes zero sense to me.
Oh, well. You know, maybe next time.
Student driver in their Jaguar.
Police in Gwinnett County are...
Oh, no, they didn't.
We don't care about it. We're not doing it. I'm out.
Music says you're out. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. We'll see you again next time for the turn of Sit and Spin. The Drunken Charge will be in. The Word is back. Profile this, and we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. I apologize to Gwinnett County, but not really. All right, we're out of here. Until tomorrow, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.